Welcome back to Data Finance 365, where we look at all things data, tech, and finance. Well, the biggest news of the week last Friday is that OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman was fired. Now, looking at the OpenAI leadership transition blog post posted on OpenAI.com is that the board of directors of OpenAI Inc., the 501c3 that acts as the overall governing body for all OpenAI activities, today, which was on the 17th of November, announced that Sam Altman will depart as CEO and leave the board of directors, which means that he was essentially fired. They're saying he's going to depart, but that's not what happened. We'll look at that right now. Mira Murati, the company's chief technology officer, will serve as interim CEO effective immediately. Now, this is monumental big news from tech because only barely a week ago, Sam Altman presented at the All Dev Day event by OpenAI, where he showcased the new features of ChatGPT and announced plans to commercialize the product, meaning that you and I could create assistant GPTs and make money through the OpenAI or ChatGPT marketplace. Obviously, this might still happen or might be canned, but a member of OpenAI's leadership team for 5 years, Mira, has played a critical role in OpenAI's evolution into a global AI leader. She brings a unique skill set, understanding of the company's values, operations, and business, and has already led the company's research, product, and safety functions. So the blog post goes on to say. Now, in a statement released on the same website, it says that Mr. Altman's departure follows a deliberate review process by the board, which concluded that he was not consistently candid in his communications with the board, hindering its ability to exercise its responsibilities. The board no longer has confidence in his ability to continue leading OpenAI. This is all going to change because this decision blindsided a lot of investors, including minority stakeholder Microsoft, which, as we heard, CEO Satya Nadella was furious at this decision because I believe he found out online just like everybody else. But the news is that a text message was sent to Mr. Altman to join a board meeting or Google Meet on a Friday, and he was just told there and then that he was going to be fired and he's no longer CEO. If you look at this other article here, it mentions Ilya Sutskever, who is OpenAI's chief scientist, but reading on this article it says that these two never got along, quite frankly, because the OpenAI chief scientist believed that Altman was moving too fast and he needed to slow things down. Now, if you look at this article, it goes on to mention that internally at OpenAI, insiders say that disagreements had emerged over the speed at which Altman, the then fired CEO, was pushing for commercialization and company growth, with Sutskever right here, who is the chief OpenAI scientist, arguing to slow things down. Sources told reporter Kara Swisher that OpenAI's Dev Day event on November 6th was Altman's front and center in a keynote. Pushing consumer-like product was an inflection moment of Altman pushing too far, too fast. And this is basically what happened. They didn't like the pace at which Sam was pushing for commercialization of the product. All the talk about having you and I create assistant GPTs that you can then sell on an OpenAI marketplace or ChatGPT marketplace. All this was going too fast because, again, we are getting near, or reports are we're getting close to an AGI, which means super intelligent AI, and everyone says let's just take a break, let's pause on all these fast deployments and releases. Since its founding, OpenAI has pursued the development of artificial general intelligence, or AGI, which is a hypothetical technology that will be able to perform any intellectual task of a human, essentially replacing what you and I can do. So I think that was a fast pace at which Sam Altman was approaching AGI, and they just didn't like that. It says right here that OpenAI has an unusual structure where its for-profit arm is owned and controlled by a non-profit 501c3 public charity, and that non-profit was controlled by a board of directors, which included Altman, who was kicked out, Brockman, who also resigned, along with Brockman, Ilya Sutskever, who is the OpenAI chief scientist, and 3 others who were not OpenAI employees. That is Adam D'Angelo, the CEO of Quora. I don't even know what they do. Tasha McCauley, an adjunct senior management scientist at Rand Operations, and Helen Toner, director of strategy and foundational research grants at Georgetown's Center for Security and Emerging Technology. Stay tuned because there's a ton of news coming out of the web that Altman might be back, but also employees had issued a statement giving the company an ultimatum to either reinstate Altman or they're going to quit. So you can imagine 90% of the employees are going to walk out with Sam Altman and form another AI company, which rumors is going to be called Next AI. But stay tuned. This is indeed breaking news. Huge impacts to the AI community that CEO Sam Altman was fired by OpenAI's board, and it's rocked the entire tech industry. Stay tuned for more from Data Finance 365. This is breaking news.